Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with my review of the legendary yellow, blue, red, and green lions from Voltron Legendary Defender. So this is a bit of a new genre for me. Well, not really, because I do a lot of transforming robots, but this is my first review of Voltron stuff. Let me know if you want to see more of it, because I'm debating whether I want to do more on the channel this year, because I really like the show a lot, and I was going to be picking up stuff. So anyway, this is sort of my test market, so just let me know. This set, or this line, is going to include the Black Lion, which is going to be a bit larger, I believe, and he, ties it all together, because these actually do combine. But I could not find him. These hit shelves a little bit early, so I decided instead of waiting, I'm going to cover these four together since they're the four arm pieces, and then I will for sure be covering Black regardless of whether I decide to continue with the rest of the line to show the combined mode. But anyway, that's what it is for these. We are going to now take a quick look at all of them individually, sort of cut away in between them just because it's easier logistically. So let's go ahead and get to that. Okay, so we will start with yellow. I'm sort of just going to cover them in the order I had them laid out in, left to right. But anyway, I think with each one I'm going to go ahead and just get their main gimmick out of the way. His main gimmick is this large piece here which sets on top. They sort of like clamp around via these two pieces. I'll take it off in a second. But you place these little blue discs in, and then there's a little lever here in which you fire them off. They actually have a pretty good power there. You could just hear them thunk off of there. You can feel the force. I'm with the force is with me, you know how it is. But yeah, there's just these little blue discs. It's a pretty standard gimmick. It's kind of nice just to have something that's different than the missile firing gimmick, which two of these guys have. So that's kind of neat, but like that's not the main feature for me. Comes off very easily, just like I said, it kind of just latches between the two of these. So yeah, now let's just go on to how it looks, which oddly enough is the more important thing to me. I really do think the look of all of these is pretty solid. I think the use of color and everything really captures the cartoon look of it well. So I'm pretty pleased with that, just as sort of shelf pieces to have what the lions look like. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it. Something I want to note, all of them have this, is the tails here are the soft plastic, which are going to, snap in when you transform and stuff like that. But I just really appreciate having an actual malleable tail feeling plastic, because usually I've bought a lot of robots like this over the years, and they always have that straight out just standard plastic dull tail, and it's just kind of nice to have it. It's just kind of a nice toy engineering appreciation bit. You can move his head up and down, and you can open his mouth, but it closes instantly, and I didn't see anything in the instructions or don't know if there's any way to keep it open, so I could be stupid about that. But as of my knowledge at this moment, I can't figure out a way, even like just holding it open. So I kind of wish you could, because just being able to pose it with its mouth open gives it a bit of personality, so I'm not sure why that's a thing. Obviously, because of transformation, you're going to have articulation, so you can move his legs around pretty nicely, so you can get him in some sort of cool prowling poses. So that's kind of neat. Like I said, they're going to be a feature of transformation. Each one of these guys is going to come with a little pilot, quote-unquote, which is right here, which is a very... This camera is just loving the lion, so it's going to take a minute to focus on this. Okay, there we go. So it's basically just the little vehicle they ride into there, and then what's supposed to actually be the guy is just a black pane of plastic, or piece of plastic. So that's kind of lame. It would have been nice if they actually kind of looked like the character. I know it's meant to be small and not like the main feature of it, but still would have been nice. But basically, you can just put him in here. You're supposed to do it more funly than that, but yeah. I kind of just wish in general we had figures for the guys, like just, had Hunk and Lance and Keith and just a figure for them. Like not even just a mini figure, but like an actual figure for them, because I think they're just as important. But anyway, let's take a quick look at its transformation. Very simple stuff. You're just folding his legs in here, folding these around. The legs and the arm guys are obviously going to function very similarly. Fold this up, folding and maneuvering, all that fun stuff. They have really nice sort of, you can hear that sort of ratchety joint. And whenever I say ratchety, I make it sound bad, but I do mean it is good. Like, it doesn't feel like it's going to be loose. So yeah, there you're going to have the leg. I could tweak it a little bit more, because I wish that wasn't so over it. But yeah, there you have the standard thing. Let's go ahead and move on to the next. Blue Lion. His is a bit covered up by his giant cannon piece here, whoops, which actually didn't fit all the way on. It's more of your classic sort of missile firing action piece, which isn't that exciting for me. You just do that and you're supposed to press it out here. But mine is having trouble because it's actually bent, so it actually has a bit of trouble, you know, firing. But even though I'm not a huge fan of the missile firing bit, I think this is one of the cooler looking cannons that just kind of neat with like the elongated, almost like stag beetle horns. I don't know, I just kind of dig it. But my main thing I really like about this guy is just the way it looks. As I said with yellow, I'm pretty pleased with the way these guys look. I think they captured the colors really well, and the molds just make them look like kind of like they jumped out of the cartoon. Maybe a little bit lesser in the leg area, but still, for the most part, I really like it. I really like Blue's. He's also a leg, but you know, he's a little bit sleeker looking. Just overall cool. You can move his head up and down as well. His mouth will open, but you know, woo, that's more like a wolf. And you can obviously move his legs just like yellow, so you can get a bit of sort of prowling poses. It's kind of interesting whenever you have something like this because they do have a bit of articulation, but you can only do so many walking poses, but it's still neat because it gives him a bit of personality. You can move his head side to side a little bit too, which also adds to it just a smidge. But yeah, overall, I'm really pleased with the way these look. Like, just having this does allow you to give them each a little bit more individual personality with how they're posed, and I think they just look really good, and I really just think they have a good quality to them as well. I'm just overall pretty pleased with them look-wise. Okay, so for transformation, just fold his legs up just like you did with yellow. Slide these up. I had a little bit almost ready there. Then it's a little bit easier than yellow's because you just have this one piece you fold up, and looks like a little hat, and then just sort of maneuver these, and I can finagle it a little bit better once we get the full formation, but there you get the basic idea of it. Alright, so now let's do us some arms. Oh, he does also come with his little pilot, which is also a very basic little thing, nothing to it, and it will fit in this little area here. So let's not forget that most important feature that I just wish they actually looked like the little guys. So I'm just going to put that in there. And look, these like push forward when you put the things in them. And of course you're going to want to put the tail away, which I forgot to mention because classic me. Alright, so now we have Red. Here's his cannon, which actually attaches via a peg rather than the sort of claw grabbing system, and the button's right here to fire the missile, which went way over here. And it's pretty cool looking as well. Mine actually has a bit of trouble staying in, not the missile, but the actual cannon on top of the lion, which is kind of annoying, so that's why I'm kind of getting it out of the way right away. But again, look-wise, I'm very pleased with it. Again, even more sleeker than the last one because he's, you know, a different style, and he's going to be an arm, but I think he looks really awesome. These ones, you can actually move their head side to side, which gives them a bit of personality. You can still open their mouths, but you can't keep it that way, as far as I know, unless I'm being an idiot. That's always a possibility, to be honest. But still, that's a nice touch. And like, I know that the leg ones are designed to work differently because, you know, they gotta go up so that they can transform. But I wish they could have still done that. Like, I don't see why it wouldn't be possible because, especially with the way these joints are, I could totally see this being able to still have the joint here to pull up to be a leg. But just, I don't know, it just adds an extra degree of personality, and I get they're different, but it's just kind of disappointing that they all can't have it. Again, legs also do move. Same spiel here. Don't want to repeat myself too much. Nice tail there. I'm going to go ahead and put it away because I forgot to in the last one. But yeah, overall, pleased with this one as well. The legs, for all of them, you basically do the same thing. You just kind of fold them up into it. So that's the same. The transformation for the other ones is a little bit more involved for these. You basically pull this armor piece up, and then these actually press in once you fold them up. It's kind of like, there's been Megazords I've reviewed that are like that. And let's see if I can get them both at once. But you basically are going to be, I'm actually going to do them separately because it's easier for me personally. But you basically just fold them into here nicely so that they will be able to close. So there you go. Press it in, fold it down, and there you go. Whoops, a little bit more finagling. There you go. Okay, so yeah, there you have it. You're going to pull this out, obviously, to attach it into black so it can actually be an arm, but I think it works really well. It transforms really nicely. It hides everything it needs to, and it's pretty seamless. And you can see there's going to be a bit of articulation happening there for it. All right, so, almost forgot. He does come with a piece, this piece here for the sword, which will attach with sort of basically just an outer area that includes with green, and you can have him hold it if you want to. I think it should go the other way, just for more security, for security reasons. I think that's the other, I don't know, but you can have him hold it. So yeah,
I'm a professional.
All right, so now we got Pidge's Lion, aka Audrey's from Scream's Lion, or Sin from Arrow's Lion. So, cool. I really like the way this one looks as well. Again, they're all very samey to each other in a lot of ways, but I really like the way that the shield looks on here. You can remove it to do its gimmick, which I'll show in just a second. But I just think the shield on it really kind of, I don't know, separates it and makes it look cool. I just don't want to get too repetitive in what I'm saying, and so basically just blanket. I think they all look good, and they all have that same articulation, but I prefer it with the shield there, but you can place this here. What is kind of nice is that it seamlessly kind of folds into that, and then if I had the missile, I don't know where the missile went. Oh, there it is. You have classic missile firing action. So it's actually 3 of them. I kept thinking it was only 2 that had the missile firing. So yellow's like the only oddball there that doesn't have it. So I'm just going to go ahead and take that off and actually leave this off for now, just because I feel like it. Okay, before I forget, before we do transformation, I think I forgot to show it in reds, but also does come with a little pilot. In fact, I'll show reds now. But they're not really much worth showing, you know. That's it. So I'll put them in later. And then green also comes with, which is trapped under something off camera, this little piece here, which will attach onto red's sword piece. Let me sort of get it like that. You can kind of know where to put it because you line it up on these 2 little dots right here. So let's do that. So there you go. You get the basic idea. Looks pretty cool. Will look cooler when it's actually in the combined mode. Okay, so for this, same exact dealio. Folding in. Oh, cranking, folding in. Let's not forget the tail. That's like going to be my thing. That's going to be like my Ninja Steel wheels of this review set, apparently, is the tails. Okay. Watch me like in the future when I review Black Lion, like have just all the tails out. I don't even know if that would be possible for some of them, but I would pull it off, to be honest. Tailgate. I don't know. Hey! That is kind of funny because it's punny. Anyway, and that rhymed. I was a poet and I didn't even know I rhymed those words. Okay, so yeah, there you go. Same basic deal. Again, I really do like the way this is engineered in terms of transformation. I mainly just want to highlight it because sometimes you have those where in its like animal mode or vehicle mode or whatever, it's like really obvious the way certain things are going to go, and these just, I think, kind of seamlessly flow into one another. Alright, but now we're just going to go back to looking at all 4 of them. This looks really sad, like he lost all his limbs. But anyway, go back to all 4 of them for a final verdict. Okay, so that was all of their functions sort of individually. Right now they can basically Bees Lion. They each have their own little individual gimmick, and then, you know, obviously can transform into their piece, which will be a lot cooler in the next review when I get to actually having Black Lion. So I apologize about that. But regardless of all of that, I really dig these. They're good looking cats, to be honest. Just for like a display piece, I think they look cool. They have pretty much all the details you need. The color palette and everything's right where they look like they're out of the cartoon. Like I said, they each have their own little, you know, action-y gimmick, which is kind of give or take for me. But the transformation seems solid for the most part. I think the arms specifically work really well. So I'm really looking forward to getting them all together. But for now, if you have a favorite lion and you want one of this scale, I can definitely recommend picking them up. I think they're pretty solid toys and I'm pretty happy with them outside of a few minor nitpicks. But yeah, so like I said, let me know what you think of this review. I'll for sure be covering Black Lion to do the combo, but beyond that, it just kind of depends on what you guys want to see. But anyway, until next time, make sure the Crazy Podcast at WritersRangeRambles.com, and of course, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, Dawson Ryder, signing out.